Hello, I'm Dave Fisher of Flying Fish, and I wanted to welcome Petrus Bothma, our UK SAB team manager, along with us tonight. And he's brought a very special machine here, the new Goblin Raw 420. He's had the experience of building it, so I just wanted to hand over to Petrus just to see what he thought of the initial build.
Well, thank you for the welcome, and Dave, and for presenting me here.
Yeah, no problem at all. Nice.
Or shall I say, introducing myself. So new product from SAB, as we can see, the 420 Raw with a direct drive motor. For building aspect, it probably took me about 4 to 5 hours to build the model to completion, with a bit of neatening up of the wires and so forth.
One of the things I noticed on there was that in terms of, I haven't built it, but it looks very simplified with that direct drive. It doesn't look like there's an awful lot to do to it.
No, basically you start off building as per your bigger SAB models. You start off with the servos, mounting everything, getting the motor on, and it basically just all slots together.
As with SABs do, don't they?
Exactly that, and a very easy build in my opinion.
I noticed it follows the same lines as the Raw 700, but it hasn't got a gearbox in it with this one. But it looks like it's got the gearbox when you actually look at the side of the helicopter, looking up through here. It looks like it's got a gearbox, but it's a direct drive from the motor, as Petrus just said. We'll be going through some of these details a little bit later. I also noticed that you've brought this boom along with you. Yes. As well, and you've also got the original boom there. What's happening with that? So
SAB are releasing the model with the aluminium type boom, and as an optional extra for those who like the model, the more traditional look, SAB look, as an optional extra you can order a boom in the colour scheme. It comes with all the fittings, everything included. Tail pulley, your tail hub, your pitch ladder, everything just transfers automatically.
So you don't have to modify the build in any way, that bolts straight on?
It bolts straight on, so essentially you remove the boom clamps, the current boom clamps, and the plate actually just bolts straight into that, and there you go.
And that's the same belt, no changes there?
Same belt, everything's exactly the same.
That's beautiful, that looks really good. Yeah. So I'm just going to go over to the list. I've got a little list here because I wanted to cover every aspect. As Petrus just said, it's a direct drive motor, and this motor is a 200 kV motor, and it's a 42 pole motor as well, which it's quite large diameter, but it's actually it appears to look quite heavy because it's massive, but it's actually quite light. The casing around it is hollowed out and has lots of vents in it, so it should run very cool, and it's so smooth in operation. It's absolutely beautiful. I've been having a little fly with it this afternoon, and found that's the biggest thing about the machine, is that as it spools up, there's no vibration, no wobble of the boom or anything. It's absolutely stunning. It's just like a sewing machine. So I love that. Amazing. Now, being a 42 pole motor, in Mikado radio, they didn't have the facility to go up that high when you put your motor poles in there, your pole count. But apparently now there's been an app upgrade from Mikado, which you can download into your Neo, not actually the transmitter, into your Neo, which allows you to have the correct pole count for the motor. It would have run all right, but you wouldn't have had the right RPM showing with the telemetry. But once that upgrade is in there, no problem, and that's available now.
Yes. So for the V Touch users, it's obviously just a simple an update of the firmware, and that will automatically just download that 42 pole count motor for you, basically.
Excellent. Now we've got an 8mm main shaft in here, but the one-way bearing, so it will do auto rotations beautifully actually. The one-way bearing is a 10mm one-way bearing, so it's larger diameter than the actual shaft, which means that you're not going to get issues with it seizing up or any issues like that because of the small diameter. It goes up to 10mm, so that's really good. Any of you worried that it's not an auto rotation capable machine, well, it's amazing.
To add to that is what's another feature is the one-way bearing is actually integrated into the motor itself, so it actually sits inside, which is
nothing
really
to do on the build. That's all in there.
Yeah, that's all in there. Everything just bolts on.
I would imagine it's all in units, just like the other.
Pretty much, yeah.
Goblins.
Exactly that.
Slot
bagged
rings.
accordingly, and so forth. As I said, it's a very straightforward and easy build.
Yes, yeah. As all SABs are actually. They're beautiful manuals and very methodical. Something else that I've got on the notes, the battery tray. So if we actually bring this round and have a little stick into the cloth there, if we actually bring this round, we've got a very, very neat latch on here to remove the battery. And if I just move that around here like that, you'll see battery drops down. It's that beautiful, so smooth. So what you do to fit the battery in is put the latch back to its secure position, push the battery until it clicks, and there we are. That's a solid, easy replacement of the battery. That's really good. Now, noticing on here we've got a traditional wire coming out of the battery which can plug into the SC, but Petrus was saying that there is in the kit the provision to mount on the battery mount a connector here which slots straight into the machine, so you don't have any leads sticking out.
So again, on the battery tray rails, there's a plate that goes over, and this basically bolts onto the plate with your ESC wires that will connect through. Yeah, that's a permanent fixture. And if we take the battery out there, Dave, on the battery tray itself, you've got the opposite end, and basically what happens is when you slide the battery in, it goes straight into the connector, and your battery is, your helicopter has got power. It's very secure, very tight. The reason why I'm not using it is because I'm using my batteries on different models, so I went with the option of putting a separate D4 connector on it, so that I can actually take these batteries off and use it on alternative models.
That's a really nice option. Is that supplied with the trays?
It's supplied with the trays. So obviously the ESC side of the connector is supplied with the kit. Also, you get your battery tray in the kit with the actual connector that goes onto there as well. And as I say, it's plug and play.
So it's up to you to decide what you want. That's good.
Yeah,
that is good. We've also got, looking at the head, you've got aluminium blade grip arms and aluminium blade holders here, which is really nice. But in the kit they supply fibre. Is that correct?
It's exactly that. So the kit will be supplied with a carbon plastic blade grip arm. And this acts as a braking point. So in the event, we all crash, don't we? So in the event of a crash, the actual blade arm will snap off, saving other more important or more expensive parts within the helicopter.
So that's a cheaper option.
It is a cheaper option, and also, I mean, what we need to take away. This is a what we call a pre-series or a pre-production kit model that we're looking at here. So there are various things that we are still testing to see how it works out. So and these aluminium arms are one of them.
Yes, no, that's a really nice option. So we've got the glass reinforced plastic arms in the kit. And that's quite good if you're beginning, then and you're going to have a little knock here and there. Cheap replacement is a good idea. Excellent. It's nice that that's thought of. We also notice here that you've got the S420 blades, the new style blades.
That's right.
And S70mm blades on the tail, which match up. That's the new style blades. That's all supplied in the kit. These blades, being 420, give you a little bit extra, bit more punch when it climbs out. If you're worried about it being too punchy, you just dial less pitch in when you set it up. But the beauty of this is you've got more in reserve for auto rotations. Bit of extra blade diameter, which is really good.
So again, there is with regards to blade size, you can run anything from a 380 length blade to obviously the 420s that the helicopter is supplied with.
That's
or the
nice.
kit's supplied with.
So if you've got 380 blades in stock, you can put them on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I would imagine you just have to put a little bit more pitch in to get the same feel.
I
But
suppose you would, yes, yeah.
yeah, that's good. That's good. Good option. It's in yellow. Are there? Is this the livery that comes with, or have you got options at the moment, or is that a later thing?
It's probably a later thing. As it currently stands, for visibility, it's a small helicopter. For visibility, it's bright. It's yellow. You know.
Yes.
You flew it today,
Fantastic,
Dave,
yeah.
and you saw the visibility. It is extremely good for a smaller type helicopter.
Yes, I mean it is a smaller helicopter, but it doesn't appear that way in the air. It really does stand out. It's like flying a bigger machine. It looks much bigger than the 380, but if you put them together, there's not a great deal of difference in size, but physically. But it seems bigger in the air, so very bright. And I'm sure SAB, they do their custom canopies, don't they? So if you wanted to order something, you could change colour. But to be honest, I wouldn't want to. It's beautiful. Okay, that's good. ESC on here, 60 to 80 amp on there.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of size you're looking at. Big performance, smaller cost on the ESC. It's keeping the cost down. Smaller battery, smaller ESC, smaller blades, all a lot cheaper to run if you're learning, or if you're having the odd knock here and there. Also, you've got the beautiful boom there, which as we've just spoken about, but the standard boom here, if you have any knocks, is going to be cheaper as well. So it is really aimed at people getting going in the sport, as well as for a second machine which people like to fly anywhere. Amazing. So battery size, what's the battery sizes on this?
So battery, anything from a 2,200 milliamp to a 2,700 milliamp.
Big range there.
Yeah, the important thing is weight again. I believe in the manual is a maximum weight of 420 grams. Obviously, we've always got to take CG into consideration, and we limit it to if we use a bigger style pack of how far that battery can go back.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's just concentrating on the centre of gravity.
Yes.
So hence why SAB has said 420 grams is about the limit, basically.
It had a nice balance on it today. It felt really nice when you rolled it. It didn't pitch up or down. It kept nice and axial. So yeah, centre of gravity, they've thought about that as well. Notice also we've got like a 4:1 ratio on the tail. You could say, well, okay, that's great, but what does that mean? What I always find with SAB is they have a beautiful balance between the cyclic response, the tail hold, the tail stops. The performance of the machine is well balanced. I always find SABs have this lovely linear feel all the way around. So they've really worked on making sure that the ratios are all right. So you can actually get that tail performance without tail wag, but enough speed in the tail to give you sharp, clean stops.
Yeah,
really good.
Definitely.
Really good. What have we got here as well? Oh, micro servos in there?
Yes, yeah. So we're running micro servos. Now, forgive me, I think it's 23mm servos around the cyclics.
That's the same as the 380 size?
Exactly the same. So the servo setup is exactly the same as the 380 Buddy, for example. And then obviously for your tail, we run a mini servo on there, a mini size servo, which, correct me if I'm wrong, 32mm I think it is, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons for going larger on the tail servo is because the tail actually does an awful lot of work. A few years ago at one of the shows, there was a little rig and they had the tail working, and you could actually operate the tail by hand when it was spinning, and it's amazing how much effort it took. So that's why they've gone larger on the tail servo. That's good. 8mm shaft we talked about on the main shaft on there. Which is more than adequate for this size of machine. You'd have, and it's very short as well, so very difficult to bend those compared to the old traditional helicopters. Used to have a lot more height to them, and a 5mm tail shaft on the tail, which is equivalent to the 580 size. So that's monstrous on the tail. That's going to withstand a few knocks as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Solid.
It's a very solid helicopter. One thing we didn't touch on is obviously it has a tensioner, belt tensioner on the tail, again on the same concept as you would find in the Raw currently. Works on the same spring action basically. Very similar, which I thought was quite good.
Yeah, I haven't built this, so you say that when you tension it, you pull it back and it's springy, and you pull it back till it's
exactly that. So it's the mount. Excuse me. It's mounted in the same way as the Goblin Raw, as I said. You have the boom clamp that goes over the back, where you just turn the screw and it pulls the boom back to the desired tension on the boom, and you tighten everything up. You tighten your boom clamps up.
That's a nice touch.
I thought it was quite a nice touch for a small helicopter to get that all in there, because it's quite compact. And it was really well done.
Did you say that you've got a clamp that goes on there?
Yeah, a clamp comes with the kit. Yeah, as you do with the bigger Raws, the bigger brothers. The clamp that goes around the boom fixes to a point, and then it pushes up against the back rails, and that just pushes the boom back until you've got the desired tension on there.
That's a really nice touch. It's good that they supplied it as well, because there's a lot of engineering in these little parts, and to include it is it's good. You're not collared for buying things extra on top of the kit. Very nice. One piece undercarriage as well. That looks like it's easy to replace, and I imagine it's quite durable as well. Very impressed though. The actual overall look at the machine in the air, beautiful. Really, really nice. My experience of it is, I'm quite impressed with it actually. I'm stunned by it, because I've flown the Buddy quite a lot, but this just has that slightly bigger feel for virtually the same size. Amazing bit of kit. Again,
attention to detail as well, maybe to mention is, excuse me, these are servo wires.
Yes.
So with the antenna holder that you can see, they've even included a little slot in the antenna wire where the wires actually pass through to hold everything away from the motor and just secure. Which I think again, it's just SAB's attention to detail throughout their product range, really.
Yeah, I honestly don't know of any other manufacturer who gives detailing of the wiring like that. Yeah. I've had quite a few customers who build machines, who've built machines in the past and said, I finished it, and they bring it over and there's no servos or anything in, and you say, well, actually it's only half built. And they say, I don't like wiring. So SAB have made it really easy for you. That's really good. And you say they've got the antenna holder in as well. That's good. Always wondering where to put the antennas to give that diversity. Very good, very good. So we're going to be flying this at the field for you to have a look at, and we'll give some comments at the field. You'll be able to see it perform. I think you'll be impressed, but I'm amazed by it.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much for bringing it over.
Yeah, no, thank you for inviting me over.
No issue.
And doing the video.
No problem. Excellent.
Thank you.
Right, say goodbye for now then.
See you later.
So here we are at the field with a Goblin 420. What a stunning bit of kit this is. It looks really similar to the full-size Raws here, the 700s, but in actual fact it's a machine with its own original layout. The motor is direct drive, the design is simple, and parts are minimal. This machine flies amazingly from low to high head speeds. It will cater for anyone, whether they want to fly hard and have a great time with it, or if your budget is minimal and you want a machine that you can start with, we can run at a lower head speed. So all that being said, let's give it a fly. So here we are with the first flight with the 420. This is the 2.6 head speed. We'll be flying this now. This is really useful for people just starting out. What you'll notice is super smooth. When we lift this up, there is just no vibration in this at all. Really is beautiful, locks in place. So if we just fly this around with a low head speed, when you're actually learning circuits and you're starting to get into flying the helicopter, this machine is ideal. It's not intimidating, it's big enough to see easy, but is also small enough to pack in the boot and fly almost anywhere. So you notice here we've got our low head speed and we're flying this around, and it suddenly becomes aerobatic just by moving the sticks in the way that you practice. Okay, so you can go from flying your basic circuits to flying aerobatically with no setting changes. It's good all round. Let's whip it up a little bit more head speed there. So this is 2.9 now. 2.9 sounds a lot, but it's not actually a lot in terms of a 420. So now we've got a machine that's just come alive a bit more. So as you get a bit more comfortable with your flying, you can now start to put the head speed up and get a little bit more out of it. Now I haven't vamped this up and given it the maximum performance. I've just literally given it a bit more head speed. We've got pretty much the same settings in there, and you notice it's now no slouch whatsoever. Really flying well. Okay, so that's our 2.9 head speed. Let's just have a little look at it now. Click up, see what we've got. This is a 3 head speed. So now, oh look, you can hear it's biting a lot more alive, isn't it? This machine now takes you to a new level, and as I say, this isn't by any means flat out. You can see that it's very, very much more alive. Much nicer to fly your harder manoeuvres with a little bit more head speed. But not everybody wants this, and obviously you're going to have less battery time if you've got this amount of head speed running. So this is good. You can have longer flights for your learning. As you progress, you can get this up to a higher performance, and it's going to teach you everything that you need to do. So no shortage of power, whatever. If we look at Pyro TikToks, I mean, no problems climbing there, holding its altitude. And if we do get a bit of power on, a bit of pitch in, there she goes. If you notice, we haven't got any vibrations, we haven't got any issues with the tail wagging. No shortage of power there at all. Right, let's drop her back now to the lower head speed. And there we go. Listen to that. Very sedate. What a difference. We've gone now to a level where anyone can fly this, from hopping near the ground, smooth control, much more comfortable for those beginners. A good all-round machine, stunning bit of kit. Well worth considering when you're just starting out or for a fun machine. Absolutely amazing. Well done, SAB.
Motor off.